Testing, testing. You can see me now. Can you hear me? Okay, hi everybody. Well, first time for everything, I suppose. I'm just trying to set this up so that I can pull it onto another screen so I can actually see everyone, myself as well. Greetings. Gosh. Okay, so almost there. Almost there. Just need to sort something out here. Gosh, technology, archaic as it is, it's definitely. Oh, there you go. Better screen now. Okay. So you can see me now and hear me. Okay. So basically, how things have been. So how have everything? Well, how's everything been going with everybody? With you, Golden Girl. Okay. Hey, how you doing, Neil? Cheers to Cape Town. That's good. Okay. Well, I've made some notes on my findings on the call of creation, which I'm thinking. I can't see my notes right now, so I just need to get myself sorted out. Guys, you should try and, if you ever thought that it was easy to do a live stream, no one ever says it. No one ever says anything about it. It's really hard to set up a live stream. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I just need to do one little thing here quickly. Uh, I need to find my notes. I had so many notes. Anyway, that's okay. I'm just going to go with what I can remember. So I know that in the last time that I had mentioned that we were going to work on a call to creation that I had stated in the previous video that we would um, work on it with setting up an energy that we would feel, we would put into the world, and it would be like a intention which becomes a feeling energy, and then that put into the world around us. And I've had some amazing sort of realizations and things. Hi, Stellar View. Thank you. Uh, then what I found out from all of that was that there would be a few things that stood out for me, particularly. Oh, I've got my notes now. My goodness. And it's about the what I've noticed is this: the relationship that I have with myself really determines the way we bring the creation into the world. When I said in the previous video, and please, if there's any questions, I'll just wait for everybody else to also come on. I'm just gonna carry on with what I've found. Um, if there's anybody that's missed out on the beginning parts, then it would be good to just listen to the rest of the video or afterwards when it's not live anymore. First, want to say thank you very much for connecting with me on this and actually getting up so early and or waking up late. Um, it's not easy, and I wasn't trying to sorry uh, fit in everybody's time zones, which is not very easy. I think time zones is a bit of a problem for most of us. But anyway, so basically the what I found in terms of creation, and when I put that energy into the world, and I did it for about 7 days, I found that how I was feeling was determining what I was bringing into through that process of connecting with the consciousness, with as a plural group. Like I've said, Great Spirit is plural. We are Great Spirit. Many of us are Great Spirit. And so what's been going on in the world really was almost a destabilization of almost a, one could say, a fragmentation of Great Spirit as such. And this is not related to religion or to all of the little groups that have been popping up everywhere and standing for all kinds of followings and any whatever you want to call it. But it really is our call to make, us as conscious beings who are working as a unity to bring in creative energy as we do every day. I've, like I said, the first very important note to take in mind is the relationship with the self is what determines the reflection of how greater consciousness is experienced on the earth. So, how we feel about ourselves determines what energy and what mood. I hope this makes sense. So, my findings were mainly to go with the feeling of not really focusing on anything as such that would impact my mood, or my mood would impact the mood of Great Spirit. And I can say to you that once I started doing that, I could feel that things were pretty charged. They were very, very active. Um, the moment you start to focus on being aware that you are great spirit in plural, many bodies make great spirits body, many faces, many lives, many souls make up great spirit. Micro becomes the macro. Micro, as in within oneself, becomes the macro when there's a realization or an awareness of this particular process, this purpose. And I found that in that way, let's give, just say, great spirit could be pretty moody and sometimes pretty kind, very comfortable and relaxed and playful, depending on my mood, but depending on how we feel. And I could feel everybody else's who had taken who was working with me on this at various times of the day. And I could feel that it was good to feel the connection of great spirit overall, all over. And I think what we need to consider, or what we have to find in consideration, is that great spirit is alive, because we're alive. And when we pass away, great spirit still exists. And when I say pass away in physical form, I'm saying physical form only. I'm not speaking about the soul. Obviously, we are all aware of that, so I'm stating the obvious. So I then challenged the beliefs of the planet, the movements, the revolutions, the evolutions. I challenged it and weighed it up with the awareness that I have within myself. So I took this as a personal experience only. I didn't use this as a for everybody, but for myself. Oh, there's a question. Do you think that Great Spirit, our Creator Spirit, is part of us, or separate from us? That's a good question. Thank you, Stellar View. Uh, so, Great Spirit is us, and we are Great Spirit. That would be my best example, my best answer to give to that question. Because when everything was formed, it was formed from within consciousness, from within mind, from the intent. So intent is the spirit, is the spirit, or the Holy Ghost, if you want to bring in the religion, just as an example. This is just an example to explain what the intent is that comes as light. Thoughts come into one's mind and seeds the consciousness, and through the eyes, through the senses, through the body, through the mind, through the awareness, becomes a reality as great spirit. So we are, in actual fact, creators creating and having a creator experience, or a human experience in a creator experience. Does this make sense? Uh, yeah, of course we're observing. We're observing ourselves, and we're observing our actions in other people, our cause and effect, what do we do, how we say things, what we bring out. That's why I always say great spirit, creator, or God, or the universal consciousness, or the whatever you want to call it, but I'm calling it great spirit because that's what I feel comfortable with. Yeah. That's what I feel comfortable with. Yeah. That's pretty awake and pretty busy, Golden Girl. Definitely. Thanks for that. Thanks for the questions as well. Uh, as the source of the creation, we are the source of all creation. We are the source making creation happen every single moment of the existence of life. Um, our um, our relationship with ourselves. I think this is pretty much. I'm gonna keep going on this. This is really the main focus before I go back to what I was saying about the little revolutions and the little evolutions and the little groupies and the belief systems that are coming up and wanting to cancel everything out. And I'm not going to say the name because we know that there are algorithms reading everything I'm saying right now, which I think I can pick up on. The information about the groups are essentially questioning itself, its authenticity. Once authenticity is being questioned or challenged, then there comes a revolution and an evolution. No, you're not late at all. Thank you for joining. Um, so, as I was saying, what is the cause for all of these groups? What is the cause for all of these groups coming together and creating all of this fusion of inflammation, is what I'm going to call it? Feels like inflammation. Feels like there's a bit of arthritis or inflammation going through what's been coming up, wanting to cancel everything out. I think the only thing that wants to cancel itself, everything else out, if it doesn't have the same frequency, that movement, that belief, that structure, movement, that belief, that structure that's come into play. Also, that definitely does bring in uh, the sense of wanting then to change everything out. It's like I hate myself so much, I want to wipe myself out. Similar, that is a thing that's similar to what's experienced when the Great Spirit is totally fragmented from itself. When the mood, like I said in the beginning, uh, how we feel, how our moods are, depends on how in what mood Great Spirit is in when creation takes place. Any and every single creation moment that there is. So if I feel like I hate myself, then definitely I'm going to be projecting and creating a fragmented program of Great Spirit presence uh, viewing me. So I will then go into life, and or instance, another example is if I think, I don't like this word at all, but it's the word loser. If I think that I'm a loser, it means I've lost everything, which means then if I bring that intention into the world, then literally I will live in a state of loss. Mind, yes. Parasites, mind parasites, yeah. That's when the body, so for example, when it becomes inflamed, the body, when when the consciousness becomes inflamed or it suffers from inflammation and it's not treated, then yes, it can become a virus or a parasite for sure. It can uh, definitely attack the body, like cancer, for example, when there's an overproduction of white blood cells because there's a threat in the body, something there's inflammation. The world then becomes. If we can be in your consciousness, um, be aware that we are great spirit. That it's a big deal. If we are aware of that, if when we think about things that, hey, I have to watch my thoughts here, that then I must heal that shadow. It's an everyday thing. This is what the lesson is all about. Wholeness for itself to exist in plural form. And it doesn't mean that every person on the planet sees themselves worthy of of this. And let's not forget about the the people who do not have a soul connection, and these are called NPCs. Uh, I think they're just duplications of a program that exists just to challenge us. Stellar view. Mantra calms me down. Yes, very much. That's why I use mantras as well for myself. Thank you for using that. It's very good. Thank you. Um, if we so great, so to speak the words in terms of creation is part of the mantra. You are a living embodiment, actively creating within your thoughts, through your senses, through your sound of your voice, every single moment of your awaking state as Great Spirit. I think if that's the only message that if you'd like to take that with you is that, then that would be, I think that's the most important message. I feel that is the most important message for us to be mindful of. Uh, why do why does inflammation happen in the body when there's perhaps a belief system that is not healthy? Uh, Mind parasites that come from beliefs. Remember that we are in a frequency war, and that whatever we believe and what we exist in is all part of the frequency. It doesn't matter. You know, I've seen many spirit people when they've come, they passed away, and they come and some of them have died in war, and they're still dying. They don't really recover from their death unless they've learned to become aware that they um, have lived for a particular reason, they've existed for a particular reason for themselves. Unless they've become aware, they've been aware. And let's say he was shot in war. This particular man that came to me, his expression and his energy was completely as if he was still dying, and he was also still in the war. So his energy was completely warlike. And sometimes people like that who have passed on with a disincarnated state of existence uh, find themselves also wanting to be with other people, with people in the physical living form, where they are perhaps in sync with their thoughts. And I would not discard external, well, you can't really say external. I would not discard that influence either. I've just recently heard or read that apparently this whole movement about lives, uh, that they were praying to spirits that had passed away to inspire them to bring this movement in place. And it means that we then stay in the death. We stay in the that which is passed on. In other words, the state of mind is stuck in the past. So past habits can create inflammation as well. So further along, do you guys have any questions? Any more questions? Before I carry on talking about psychopaths and those things, because I want to also say that Great Spirit can become psychopathic as well as warm-hearted. That's why I keep saying your mood, how you feel about yourself, determines the frequency and what Great Spirit is presenting to you. Uh, Anima mundi is not fixed in the brain, is it? No. That's a very good question. The anima mundi is not fixed at all in anything, but is fixed only, if we can use the word fixed, only in the contract that was made for it to come in. So it's a not a physical fix, it is a contract. Words. Does this uh, make does this help? Does this make sense to you, Golden Girl? It's a very good question, that. So the default behavior for humanity is essentially meant to be kindness, care, love, healing, the messengering. Initially, we're actually peaceful people, peaceful beings. Think about it in general, above all the other inflammation that's happening, but think about it. So that is inherently the default behavior of Great Spirit, not so. I mean, I've seen we go and we help people randomly. We do random acts of kindness. I know that it keeps going around and saying, do random acts of kindness, but then also do it to yourself. I would add that on. Be kind to yourself. Is projecting that intention into the fact that there is knowledge of good and evil. Because it is not good or evil, it is good and evil. Great Spirit is good and evil, depending on what your mind is about. So, they revere it, the geometry, the symbolism, the images, like, for example, the tree of Kabbalah. I've brought that up. The tree of Kabbalah is something that was brought in, aware of good or evil. Not good and evil. Good and evil is meant to be, but good or evil because beliefs, yes, duality, exactly, comes from the what I wanted to say is the snake, the tree, and Eve, the snake, the tree, and God is 5 elements, which is 5 senses. This is me having an internal conversation with, take notes. That's really what that's about, not the Sephiroth tree with the 10 things that are scattered and compartmentalized so that you can't think in this way. Maybe it's the subject matter. I'll just repeat that again. I'll say the tree of life is me, of Eden with the characters in it, the garden. Ether is the spirit in which these elements in plural form with everybody else. That's the main message I want to share with you. We must be mindful how we think. If we want to change if we become much stronger, and I'm not going to be doing this for much longer. I'd just like to wrap it up with the last. Our forms, our earthly, that the transhumanist agenda thinks other way, but that's another story for another day. Remember now that what you're learning here on this planet is just Great Spirit. We are Great Spirit in plural. Your relationship with yourself determines how Great Spirit is operating. When we are in a negative state of consciousness with ourselves, inflamed. On the right-hand side, you will enter into a light that is softer, it's more womb-like, and you may then not. Wakantanka, yeah. Today is a good day, yes, I agree. So I want to thank you, everybody, for supporting this connection here. Consciousness, and then we will create a clean sky within ourselves. Yes. Everything that is on the world, that is in the world that we're experiencing as upset, trauma, is part of the trauma of people. If we can be mindful of that, we are creation, happening, creating, constant planet within ourselves. So I'm going to interpretation by this from the system. So I'm wishing you a good one, and please to answer your questions. I will leave my notes under this video as well for you. So I'm wishing you much love. Thank you, everybody. I'm saying bye.